It's hard for a reason. In a minute trying to make it right. Saying, baby, this is our season. No, I ain't taking that. I'm swimming this long in the deep end. Demons trying to visit me at night.
What up? What up? Welcome back to the Hus-Band Show podcast, where we tackle the heart, hustle, and humor of the everyday journey of relationships, marriage, and family. Today, we'll be diving into the topic that touches more lives than we often realize: the effects of single-parent households. Good gracious!
Right.
Whether you've been raised by a single parent, are you one yourself? You know someone navigating the journey? This conversation is for you. We'll explore the challenges, but also unexpected triumphs and powerful ways single parents are shaping resilient, successful children. Let's dig into what the numbers say, but more importantly, what the story behind the numbers reveals. Stay tuned. Oh, yeah.
Damn. Who wrote that? That was nice.
That was pretty.
Yeah.
It's some big words. It's some big words, some challenging words in there. Again, that's Perry, our host, our moderator. Again, I'm John, and we have a very, very special guest. Let me go ahead and give you a little bit of backstory before he introduces himself. I'm gonna give you my perspective of my man Robo. My man Robo, me and him go back about close to 15 years. He and I served in Iraq. One of the Operation Iraqi Freedoms. I think it was 7, either 3, 5, or 7. One of those back in the days, many, many moons ago. And we were both in operations, and we had a lot of discussions over the year that we spent in foreign land. And he was always had a great. He carries himself in a way that's infectious by the way he speaks wholeheartedly, very candid, very to the point. Pulls no punches. It stings, but you understand what you're getting from him when he delivers who he is. And that's what I appreciated more about him. That's why we always had this what they call it, social media friendship over these 15 years. And we were joking today that this is the first time we actually back and forth talk outside of, instant messages on Instagram.
Yeah.
So without further ado, I would like to introduce to you my friend, my battle buddy, Robo.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Hey, first of all, I just want to thank you so much. That was the nicest way anybody's ever called me an asshole, and I appreciate it. That was
the sweetest way possible to say that.
No, I appreciate it. Yeah, 15 years. One of the things I was talking about right before we came on here was like I came on and just like, all right, what do we got? What are we doing? Like it's not a big deal. And I'm like, yeah, wait a minute. I haven't talked to you like in 15 years. It just doesn't feel that way because we're always in touch and you know what I mean? And commented and anything like that. But anyways, I'm Robo. I served with John here, but since then, let's say I'm out. We're all out now. And I do my own thing over here. I got a show called LeftFace on TV. I do a stream, LeftFace TV on Twitch, and it's like a social political commentary kind of deal. I am left, right? So what you guys are gonna hear, that's it. Just understand, we stay woke on this side. I just need you to know.
Before you go any further, explain left. Because people don't like to admit they don't know what that shit means. They don't like to admit that.
Okay, or well, from the political spectrum, I'm left winged. I head that way. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I'm so left that when they go, oh, you probably some socialist. I go, yeah, that's about right. You know, I don't get offended. I don't get offended. Right. So just woke isn't a bad word for me. So just that's the context. Everything else can come out of my mouth. Hopefully. Anybody watching this is like, well, shit, I ain't watching this motherfucker now.
So left is woke people.
That's right.
They pay attention to everything. They're in tune.
That's right.
They break shit down till its last molecule before they.
You say the wrong word, I'm offended.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm canceling you. You know that.
All of that is being covered. All of that is being covered, man.
I appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, thanks for joining up, man. Last minute, thanks for swinging in and yeah, and vibing with us though. And Perry started off with the conversation we're going to talk about as far as the detriment and the pitfalls, and as well as some of the success stories that come out of being raised in a single family home. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it happened.
Yeah, of course I have. I am a product of a single family home. You know, what about you, P?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm a product of a single mother. She was tough, but we worked it out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
also, my mom, having a foreign mother come, being born in Jamaica and come to the States at when she was like, I want to say she was 19 or 20 when she came to the States, and very, very, my mom is still to this day very, very headstrong and very strict and to the point with what she says. Even at my age, it's still yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, don't curse.
That's right.
Because something might just come across the side of your head. So I just try to be as patient as I can, understand the respect and the power of Mom Dukes.
Yeah.
44 years old now, and I still, if I say like, sorry, mom. Like he still can't.
Yes. That's just nervous.
So look,
when I was old enough to talk. What up?
Yeah, we're gonna put some numbers to these things. So I'm gonna run them down. It's crazy. It's actually sad. The percentages, single mothers. I'm not gonna actually do it by race, which is crazy. There you go, my man. Asian 12%, white 18%, Hispanic Latino 25%, Native American 29%, Black 58%. That's crazy.
Let's expunge on that first block of numbers right there at single mothers and households by race, and it's telling in a lot of ways when you look at how the society the way it is right now and the plight of the black family, and it still has been going on for decades, centuries, and all that kind of stuff. To where I don't think not much has changed. I'm like, if you probably ran these numbers from the black perspective, it's probably not much has changed. 100 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Not much is different, and then and that's a sad number. That's why just looking at it, I just feel like the angst behind it because I'm a product of that 58%.
Yeah, me
That's
too.
right.
Yeah.
I'm always kind of like listen, as a brown Puerto Rican guy.
Boricua.
I'm a Boricua. Ya tú sabes. Now easy, yo. But it's I'm always the odd man out. I appreciate you. I still got something to say, but I'm always the odd man out because technically my birth father was out, but the person who would step in, and it's uncomfortable me calling him stepdad. Is not
right.
I don't ever use that word. I wouldn't even know he wasn't my birth dad if they didn't tell me. You know what I mean? That's how long he was in my life. But I've had a mom and dad the whole time, and so but what is funny about what you're saying is that truth of my experience is always the butt of a joke when I'm around people that look like me. Right. Like, and when I say the butt of a joke, I mean like actual being like, oh, look at this guy, both parents, he must have had a healthy childhood, and I'm like, Dad, what you want me to? I'm sorry, I had two dads, you know what I mean? But it's funny and sad at the same time that so many black and brown people experience this. Yeah, what I mean? And by far, obviously, look at the numbers. Black folks experience this worse. That when we're together, it's almost like a surprise when you see somebody that has both the parents in the household.
Yeah.
But it is sad. It's sad.
Yeah, that's crazy. Even putting it in that perspective, that's the oh shit look when both parents show up and they're actually living together under the same roof.
Oh, you know your dad. Cool.
Yeah. And it's so funny. It's so funny because a good friend of ours, Dwayne and Ronita, we went to high school with John. Right. Their daughter made a post about, one of her friends has called her something. She's older. She's an adult. They said something about her, not being privileged, but like doing all the right things and making the decisions she was making. She's like, oh, I'm sorry. My parents gave a fuck.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry. I was raised by both of my parents at the same time. I'm sorry. I said, wow.
Yeah.
Having both parents shouldn't be the new normal.
It should be.
That's right.
and
That's
it
right.
shouldn't be the slap in the face.
Yeah.
So and it's almost like, and it goes back to how a lot of people within our culture look at that as far as a line of success.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? It's almost like your failure is having both parents in the house, which is sad. You see what I'm
And
saying?
look at
That
the
should be-
fathers. Look at the fathers. The single father's household. Native American 1 to 2%. Asian 3 to 5. Black 14 to 15. Hispanic Latino 28 and 56 white. Now, I see the last one. I know why that is.
What's
Because
that?
they have the money.
Okay.
I mean, I'm just being honest.
Right.
Right? Being
financially
56%.
stable.
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah.
Financially
You're
stable.
not scared to take on things when you're okay.
Well, here, let me throw something else in. Let me throw something else in. Remember what I said earlier. We're staying woke. There's another reason. There's another reason why I think is you're going to see 56% white and 14% to 15% for black. Is it is the
Say it,
yang
Robo.
to the
Say it.
yin. It is the yin to the yang of why it's 58% single black mothers. And it's
I knew that's
because
where you was going. I knew that's where you was
they're locking up black dudes. You
Yeah,
can't have a high number of single father or family households when the reason why it's a high number of single mothers is because there's a disproportionate amount of black and brown dudes in prison.
Locked up. Locked the hell
Yeah,
up.
damn.
So that number is, that's why that number
And
is
that
so
money
high
don't
in
hurt,
the way
though.
that it is.
That money don't hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, sure. Yeah, we know. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Good
The
Lord.
means.
There
know?
you go.
The
There you
means.
go.
Yeah.
Resources.
Like
Yeah.
somebody got to do the rough part of it. Let me go over incarcerated youth. Incarcerated youth, Native American, 2 to 3%, Asian 3 to 4%, Hispanic and Latino 23%, white 30%, black 40 to 58%. And these is now mind you, this is all within a single household demographic. So these numbers are coming from, a single parent home. And this number right here, it doesn't really define if it's from a single mother or single father. And I don't want to get in that to pit each other against each other, saying, well, he only has success because his father was there as a single parent or his mother, anything of that nature. But the numbers
They
as
can
a
have
whole,
both parents.
they can have both parents, and they still be,
Yep.
end up locked up. Because I know guys who had very parents that weren't strict, and I have guys whose parents were just understanding or not lackadaisical, and they still ended up locked up. That's decision making processes that people fall into that perspective as far as
Man,
doing
let
right
me
and
tell
wrong.
you, my daughter, I'm gonna put her business out there, so hopefully she don't see this. Listen, her mom, me, both active duty, raised in base housing and or suburbs her whole life. Never was in the ghetto. Never was in the Bronx. Never was in Homestead outside Miami. And long story short, lost her mind when she was a teenager. And the guy she dated, in somewhere in the United States, I won't make it too specific, just but
I like that.
there was a place that she lived that she dated a dude. And you can find him on the internet, right? Like on the news right now, because he got life from murder. Like, he was a gangbanger,
Right.
like a straight up, like
Yeah,
not
yeah,
just
yeah,
like
yeah,
somebody who like, oh, I slang and I don't care, I'll fight somebody. No, like in a gang, killed somebody. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, and there was a weekend that she just disappeared, and me and her mom were going crazy. Like I'm like, crying and all that stuff. And then she comes back, and then we had to go to this one place because the cops were looking for him, and I need to come home. So we fly her home. She could have been in prison. She could have been one of the numbers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it had nothing to do with how she was, even like where she was raised or one or two parents.
Nothing to do with it.
Sometimes people just do their own thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like even knowing right from wrong, it's a decision making process, and that's why trying to be.
She's good now, by the way. She's straight.
Oh, good. Thanks for clearing that on that.
I just need to throw that out there.
Yeah, it's a decision making process because sometimes I look at it as far as like we were talking about mental health last week, a week or so ago, P. I feel like it's almost like a chemical imbalance in the brain where your decision making process is skewed. I know I'm not supposed to walk outside and randomly kill somebody. I know I'm not supposed to go and take somebody's shit. I know I'm not supposed to drive 100 miles an hour after chugging, vodka or whatever it might be. I can make that conscious decision to not make that decision that I know can affect my life or somebody else's life. And sometimes I feel that it's a mental thing that's causing people to make these, crazy decisions to do harm to somebody else or do harm to themselves, or just don't give a damn about, making good decisions.
Yeah. And it's crazy because I'm going to piggyback off Robo. So you said your daughter, she did what she did.
Mm-hmm.
And it's always been a thing where people say girls try to find someone like the dad or da-da-da-da-da. But why I'm piggybacking off what you said is my daughter was doing her thing. And it's like, dude, I'm not
you get this
like
from?
that.
Yeah.
So what is going on?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But they're so easily influenced by these dudes, man. And I feel so sorry for them because they can paint this picture before they meet this girl. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And they can do it all through social media. They can paint it with a broad brush. It'll look real good. And then when she's going to have to find out for herself, because I don't want her to resent me, you know what I'm saying, by telling her what she can't do and who she's not going to be with. We all know that's going to go the wrong way.
That's right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
Especially out there at a certain age. I mean, like...
I felt everything you just said.
Yeah.
I was like, man, it's not just me.
That's right.
And then just to give a little note that they put on incarcerated youth, black children from single parent households are 4 to 5 times more likely to be incarcerated than children with 2-parent households with systematic issues. Poverty and lack of resources playing significant roles.
That's right.
So a lot of that stuff.
All
It's not like it's not like it's learned behavior. You see what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And it's also, I think a lot of it has to do with that keeping the real aspect, or who their circle of friends are.
That's right.
And again, going back to making proper decisions as far as wanting to be in that culture or want to feel like you're keeping it real, or you got kids raised in the suburbs, go to a dodgy part of town, and then get into some bullshit because they feel like they need to keep it real for their friends. So I need to put on this face to gain some respect, or put on this face to show that I ain't no punk.
Yes, absolutely. Yep.
And I'm looking at the Hispanic Latino numbers. So it's 23% of incarcerated youth come from single parent homes. And it's so crazy, those numbers though, man, because we got white, white 30%, and then we go black. So, it's going from lowest to highest. I'm finding it crazy that Hispanic and Latino aren't closer, and it's like white in the middle. Like that's odd to me about those numbers. So
yeah.
White is 30. Yeah.
So let me. I wasn't gonna say this. I don't want to go off on a tangent real quick. But let me just. First of all, I don't really like the Justice Department, whatever. Listen, when you say Hispanic and Latino, I need everybody here listening to understand this.
Clarify.
Hispanic and Latino is way too it's too broad to have a conversation like this about it, right?
Right.
Because when you're looking at culture, right? Let's say you're talking about around the DMV, or you're talking about New York or Chicago, right? That's why I'm a fan. Like, I'm a big proponent of Black-Brown solidarity, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And I get pushback from that. I get pushback from the brown side, and I get pushback from the black side too. Like, y'all ain't a part of us. Y'all don't know this and that, right? I'm like, listen, I get so frustrated because it's like, when we say Hispanic Latino, you are saying country ass farmers, Mexicans in Texas. You know what I mean? And some on the street, grimy Puerto Rican, looking exactly like John. Like, look, it looks exactly like you.
Wouldn't know.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, exactly. And I'm like, who are we talking about? And who are the biggest population of Latinos is Mexican, right?
Right.
And not to say that they don't have, just by virtue of being Mexican, that they don't have their own, struggles and experiences, right? For sure. But there are a lot of Hispanic people who would be black, who are black. You know what I mean? Right. And so it's not surprising to me when I look at it like this, because I know the numbers are going to be skewed. Where if you're talking about, you know, Dominicans and Puerto Ricans in DC, in New York, you know what I mean? If you're talking about Puerto Ricans and Dominicans in Miami, you're gonna see numbers that line up more with the black population, because that's what this shit is all about. All of this right here is about proximity to whiteness, right? It's about subjugation, and it's about understanding that John knows what I would say. It's about understanding why this is, you know. And then we look at these numbers, and you mentioned it, John, talking about even when you mentioned you're raised in the suburbs, we still got the culture, right? You got people chasing the culture, and when you got people who are living in the dirt, right, doing the business, that lifestyle is survival.
Right.
That's survival. You have to, you know, like it'll be like, oh, it's in their DNA. It's in their DNA. They're just violent. Like, bro, where did you put it? In high crime areas, you've subjugated the people, right? And then it becomes a part of the culture. But now we got this weird, like flip, where if I'm not being shit on, if I'm not having to be violent to save my life, I'm not a part of the culture.
And that's why I said what I said. I'm looking at the numbers. I'm like,
you know what I'm saying?
Man, I know my Latino brothers and sisters that we tight to the motherfucker. I can't understand this gap in between.
Yeah, it's skewed.
It makes all the sense in the world.
It's painted with a broad brush. It's just painted with a broad brush. As far as let's just put everybody into one perspective, and let's just wave a magic wand. It's everybody. Everybody that goes to that, and it's fun, and then especially with me being in the restaurant industry, you know what I'm saying, with the layers of Hispanic and Latino that people don't understand, because here in Virginia, per capita, Virginia has one of the largest consolidated masses of Hispanic and Latinos than almost the whole country, just by the sheer size of what Virginia is.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? This is per capita numbers.
Do you know who place. Is it? Are they Mexican or?
I'm gonna get to that. Okay. It's funny because out of all the restaurants that have been working here since I retired in 2013, I've been here, you know, give or take. I probably worked with 4 Mexicans. Most of my crew are El Salvadorians, Venezuela, Peruvians, things of that nature, who don't even associate or get, you know, when you say Cinco de Mayo, they look at you like, who the hell are you talking to?
Yeah, exactly.
That's not me. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of people wave a wand over and saying, everyone, if you come in and you speak Spanish, boom, you're Mexican. Immediately.
Well, I mean, that's ignorance.
There's levels. But it's just the people not knowing that there's levels to it. There's different people. Everybody that's black isn't from America.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
You got people, it's so many, it's, you know, the spectrum of black, or the 16 shades of black. And there's so many different demographics, so many different people that fall within those 16 shades. So everybody who you come across that speaks Spanish is a Mexican.
That's right.
When they're falsely addressed, you know what I'm saying? They hear Spanish and they don't know, so the assumption makes an assumption. You know the word. You know how assumption is. So, and it's crazy, and that's why, you know, I always try to find out my coworkers. Nobody works for me. I work with people. With my coworkers, you know, where you from?
Guy. Look at that humble.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, I might sign their paychecks, but we're this is one team. This one team.
I always tell them, do not call me Hefe. I can't. It drives me through the damn roof. You know, either chef or just John, but don't Hefe, or my boss. I don't like that because, you know, I'm not. You know, it's the same way I was when I was a leader in the military. I'm not a success without you. You know what I'm saying? Boots on the ground is what makes it right. And it's like when we were in OIF, we was in Iraq. You're not a success unless boots on the ground is telling you where you need to put them birds at.
That's right.
Or you just be flying around in limbo, not doing shit. Just
right. Yeah, nobody could do anything by themselves. That's right.
At all. Absolutely. Yeah. And then until, you know, a lot of people as a whole understand that, then hey, boom. But with all that, looking at the single father, single mother, and incarcerated root, there's always a brighter side to single family households.
Surely is,
always somewhere there's a light that shines into that, to where there's success from single family households.
Put them success numbers on the board, my boy.
Success numbers on the board are Asian, Of course, and I don't want to come off as far as well. There you go.
He said, of
Now,
course.
go ahead.
I
Boy,
don't want to
you
come off
said
as
when you said,
But
of
it's
course,
true.
I said, here we go.
Hey, you can't be mad at statistics.
You can't be mad at. Hey, I'm not making up these numbers. These are numbers
That's
I
right.
got, and that's why I put
All right.
put it at the bottom where these numbers are coming from. You know, but 40 to 45% single family household, they move on to some. Now, this is under seeking some form of higher education as a whole. 40 to 45% seek some form of higher education. White 30%, Hispanic 23%, Native Americans 10 to 12%, and Black 20% seek some form of higher education. Now I started to break down the Black 20% aspect to get those numbers as far as male to female, and I couldn't find nothing. But I guarantee you, it's heavy
Black
on the female
women.
side.
Black women are the most educated people in America.
There you go.
Yeah. Yes,
They really
yes,
are.
Yeah.
Yes, hands
Yeah.
down, and that's not feelings. That's not emotion speaking.
No,
that
that's
fact.
true.
That is statistical
That's a
fact
fact.
right
Yeah,
there.
yeah. I don't know the actual numbers, but they are the most educated. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. You definitely know it's gonna be women because I don't mean to be I don't want to be
Nope.
a downer, but
Do it.
it's a part of that culture though, right? The
Yeah.
anti-intellectualism is a part of the culture, right?
sure.
It's like you know, like you said, like big words and stuff like that. Like there's people out there who get mad at you for speaking big words, you know what I mean? Or like they'll call you all kinds of names because you speak, properly or this or that or whatever. And it's like okay. And you know what's funny? That's a product of access.
Right.
And
There
then it goes back to that survival, right? We were talking about before, where it's like, all right, I don't have access, so I'm gonna own that. You know what it reminds me of?
Right.
It reminds me of the army. The army,
Yeah.
they treat their people like shit.
Yes.
Like
you
shit.
witnessed it. You witnessed it.
Like I sit there and I'm like, I don't know how this is legal. All right. I remember I was in Korea and I had my cold weather gear and it was like 30 degrees outside or something like that. And I got clowned because their first sergeant said they couldn't wear their cold weather gear. I'm like,
Dumbest shit ever.
okay. So because you can't do anything about it, right? Because you can't change your situation, you got to go, that's because I don't need it. I don't want it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And we do that as a survival mechanism.
You got to buy in. You
They
buy
won't
in.
let me into college. They don't give me access to college. You know what? I don't need it. And then
Right.
and then it's like becomes that anti-intellectual, and then it becomes a part of the culture, which doesn't that hyper machismo type shit is usually not is not pressed on women. And then women get to go off, but men get trapped into the culture.
Oh, the male bravado.
The toxic side of culture.
Well, that's
Culture's
what
a good thing. Yeah.
The male bravado can be a dangerous thing. It can
Right.
be real fucking dangerous. And like you said, we buy into it after a while. I always say, all these people out here doing all this crazy shit in the culture, and they do it because they get rewarded for it. You know what I'm saying? So now they wear the ignorance as a badge of honor.
That's
I
right.
hate that.
Right.
Oh, my
Right. And it's funny. And it's funny though, because when you're talking about the intellectual aspect of it, it's also us within us also. And so we can point the fingers out, but we also got to point and look in for some of the actions that we're doing.
Sure.
And y'all have heard this 100 times. Oh, he speaks so well. Why you sound white? Why you talk like you white? Why you
You're
sound
so
like
articulate.
That? You're so articulate. He speaks so well.
that makes me very angry.
Yeah, then why
For real.
why is it that because I articulate my words, or I'm not meaning, or I'm saying, with every word that I have, that makes me less black because I speak, intellectually, or I use
Right.
common words, or I don't slang, or I cut everything off, and it's just being able to articulate, it makes sense.
Or we're bilingual by evolution. Because I could say right now, shit, that damn boy fell through that motherfucker, boy. They was in that motherfucker, boy. I said, God, all of
I know
them.
exactly where you
Now,
at. You was in the club
most of
somewhere.
y'all know what I
That's
just
right.
said.
Yeah.
Nobody else knows what I just said.
Yeah.
Y'all
yeah.
know what I just said, and
Yeah.
I'm not even
Hell
from
yeah.
Atlanta. You know
That's
what I'm
right.
saying?
That's right.
Yes, I know exactly what we knew exactly
That's
what you
right.
were saying. You were
That's
somewhere.
right.
There was some bad motherfuckers up in there, and they had their shit hanging out. I know where you was. You was at a hookah. You was at a hookah lounge.
For real. You know what I'm saying?
Damn.
Yeah.
Ignorant. Just being all ignorant.
Yeah.
I see that is people like Robo. We going back to tying black and brown together. Now he's trilingual. He has 3 languages.
Well, I'll put that here. I don't want to front. I don't want to I don't want to perpetrate. This, by the way, does not make me any less Latino or any less Puerto Rican. I don't care who listening disagrees, but I don't speak Spanish. So
Yeah, it does. It does not. No, it does not. I agree with you 110%.
But I'm gonna pretend I'm not insecure about it. But nobody has to say all that if they're actually they're secure about it. You know?
I like how you put the twist on it. You put the twist on it. But it's also with that is looking at how we can go like Perry was just giving a demonstration. We have to be able, our cultures, black and brown, have to be able to code switch. We got to be able to understand how we mitigate the perceived notions of how we should act, how we should talk, or how we should be in white spaces or in corporate spaces, I should say. Not so much white spaces as well as corporate spaces, because there can be black and browns in corporate spaces. Also, to where we need to ensure that we articulating ourselves. That's not giving them the "I knew it," response that they automatically get. And there's nothing wrong with that. Everyone code switches, and sometimes it's so unconscious that I know if I'm at the cafe or I'm talking to somebody who wants to give some money or donate something or talking about grants and stuff, I know I have to articulate my way to make sure I get my point across, because nobody want to give you money if they think you're gonna shit on it.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right. I will. Go ahead. Sorry. No. Go ahead.
And just to piggyback off John, just real quick, that shit is exhausting. Like being black and Robo, you know what I'm saying, because I know everybody think you just a light skinned brother. Before they get to know, I know they just think you a light skinned brother from but it's exhausting, man, because everybody expects you to be a certain way. Black people think I'm gonna be like this. Whites think I'm gonna be like this. Hispanics think That shit is fucking exhausting.
100%.
Oh my god, it's hard.
100%.
It's hard.
Well, the one thing I wanted to say is I just want to clarify something, and this is something for in case somebody's not black or brown listening to this. One thing I get a lot is, okay, yeah, I do that. Yeah, I do that. Like I don't talk to my friends the same way I talk to my mom. Yeah, okay, I don't talk to my boss the same way. And I said, time out. That's not code switch. You know what I mean? Like knowing your audience. You know what I mean? Is that's one thing. That's one thing, right? Code switching is a function of survival.
Absolutely.
It's a function of survival. And it doesn't always have to be literal. Sometimes it is. Yes, right? I'm gonna speak differently when I get pulled over because of actual survival. But when you're talking about a corporate environment, we were in the military. You know what I'm saying? Okay. How do you have to present yourself? And people are like, oh, that's just called being professional. I'm like, do you ever notice that being professional sometimes means I have to speak in a very specific kind of way that's not a part of my culture? You know what I'm saying? Like, and so like, when we say code switching, it's like there's a way to talk when you're comfortable. And then when you change the way you talk to your mom, that's not code switching, but you don't talk to her the same way. Yeah. But when you change the way you speak so that you could survive in your environment, you know what I mean? Which other people do not have to do. You know what I mean? That's why it's so annoying when you see, people don't really understand. Like, why do you care if the white person, they go, well, who was that Asian, comedian, actress, I think Aquafina.
Aquafina. Oh man, they rolled her ass.
And everybody was like, who cares? That's what she was raised. I'm like, no, it matters to me.
To people that know.
It matters because she's talking like that to be part of the crew, to be cool with her people. Other people talk like that, and they can't be a part of the people. They have to change what they have to say.
Exactly.
They're denigrated. You know what I mean?
Denigrated.
And that's
exactly.
Yeah. And
it's like basically what you're saying. She's walking around wielding a goddamn sword just for the fuck of it, and we have our weapons because we really need them. You know what I'm saying?
That's it. That's it.
Yeah,
But not even just that. It's like wielding it, right? Like
Yeah.
staying on your analogy, is you got somebody just wielding a sword, swinging it around, and everybody goes, fucking awesome. But if you black, you know what I mean? If you black or brown, but especially black, because I don't want to over equate,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Because black is a unique experience here in the United States, right?
Yeah, it is.
But if you're black, yeah, you can have a sword, but I have to keep that tucked away. I have it ready, but I can't survive if I take it out and start swinging it around.
Yeah,
But you can.
And we invented
You know
the
what I'm
sword.
That's it.
Analogy.
That's perfect. That's perfect, especially when you bring it back to black women. You know what I'm saying? People are like, why do you care about white women having braids? Why do you care about this white woman who has straight hair, but now she purposefully makes it into an afro? Why do you care? Right? Okay, cool. It's just hairstyle. It's just hairstyle, right? But that's not the point. It's not the fact that she is wearing it or that it belongs to somebody. It's the fact that for 100 years to this day, black women are shit on for having that hairstyle, are called ghetto, are called unprofessional. You know what I mean? Look at the hairstyles, the standards for the military.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How long has it been to where hairstyles have been this specifically for white men? Right, and if you don't have hair that's like European hair, then figure it out. I guess you gotta live your whole life with a no guard, high and tight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you can't grow it. Because if you grow your hair out like a white dude's, it's gonna be unprofessional, right? And so when we see other people go, "Wow, you wearing a fro like that," or "Oh, you're talking like that," that's weird. Because when my people do it, we're shit on. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not Mexican, but I am from California, and listening to other Latinos talk about how the Chola style is pretty big in a lot of places. And the way they do the makeup and amongst white girls, Asians, it's not really just like a white person thing, but it's like a non, even amongst black women. You know what I mean? A non East LA Mexican, you know what I mean?
Right.
And it's like, man, isn't that some shit? Because when I wore that, I was a piece of shit gangbanger who couldn't be trusted, and now it's style when you wear it. You know what I mean? And so, yeah. I don't know how we're gonna tie that back to single family house.
Single Latino kids.
Yeah.
Coming from single mother homes.
There you go. Yeah.
So to bring it in, right, I'm gonna throw this video up, and then we can comment on it and pause as we play it. But this goes back to and I'm always looking at how we can work from within to fix the issues that we have that from outside perspective. So I'm gonna run this video. We can listen to it, comment over it, pause as we need to. It's like 4 minutes long, but Robo, you probably seen it. P, I know you probably seen it. So it's like 4 minutes long, and let's go ahead.
A lot of people see my situation and not think that I'm not high function.
What situation?
See my situation. That's a very vague question, and it's for you.
What situation are you referring to that they're looking at and thinking is not high function?
Just my life.
Your life entirely, or your life in relationships?
My life.
See, don't deflect. Let's stay here. Your life entirely, or your life in relationships?
Both, really.
And they think that you're low functioning.
No, I don't.
You just said people see your life and think you're not high functioning. The opposite of that would be low functioning.
No. Okay, so here you go. You're trying to take my intentions away from this.
She's not.
Can I correct it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Or can I give you more?
Yeah, some more information. Heck yeah.
So, I'm not married, right? I have beautiful children.
How many?
8.
I didn't do my research. I thought it was 4, but 8. Okay.
No, baby.
Cool.
It's
By how
8.
many women?
3. And this is the kicker. I want more.
I was gonna say
Now,
By
What's
multiple.
up, P?
the way he said 8 proud like that,
Yes, you're like a fucking lug nut.
like quick. 8.
Embarrassing.
You know what I'm saying?
But
Yeah,
let me
you
tell
know what?
Let me tell you something, man. Let me tell you something. He brought his ass back when he went to my life. She was
Yeah.
like, this motherfucker's an idiot. But anyway,
That's right.
this guy's the problem. You see,
Yes.
because women see this guy, good looking, athlete, you know what I'm saying,
Money.
got all the money, and you think because a guy has money, that makes him the smartest person in the fucking room. And that's not true. That's not true. The problem with a lot of these relationships and situations that we see our people in is because you let these guys get away with so much bullshit because they got money. Between rich dudes and fuck boys, us hard-working men that make shit happen, we're outnumbered, man. We're outnumbered. I'm
we
just
got
saying.
ours though. We got ours though. We got
got
ours
ours.
holding
Yeah,
us
we
down.
got
Yeah.
Well, women,
Yeah,
what's
we
the
got
I just
intention
want God
about
to
your
bring
wife?
him. I just want God to bring him.
Oh, okay. And you have, so you just.
Because my point is this. My desire to get married is lower than my fear of divorce. So,
Hell, kind
as
of.
you
So
would say,
profound,
Dr.
so
Brown, that's what I didn't say. I will agree. I'm just taking my time.
He's just
You're
talking
not
about his
taking
money.
your time.
I am, though.
You're being very action-based. You're not taking your time. You're being very action-based.
I'm taking my time.
You're being very action-based. You have 8 kids with 3 different women.
Yes.
You are creating, procreating, and multiplying. That is not taking your time. You're being very selectively active. Okay? So you're creating, in disclaimer, the kids are innocent. They are beautiful and amazing. Anything I say has nothing to do with them babies, because I can't wait to be a mom, and I love the kids, period. But you are proactively choosing where you want to be active at and where you want to take your time. You want to take your time in having a wife because of your own fears. But you will, and I say this with all respect and love, what I'm about to say next, okay, Cam? But you will selfishly create broken families,
Absolutely.
even if you're in their life and you're a proactive father, and I believe you're an amazing daddy. I can only imagine with just your presence and knowing you thus far. But these families are still broken. Every child cannot have Papa in the house with them. So some child, if not all, will end up with some kind of deficit without Daddy being there. Now, you chose to do that. I'm not saying you sat there and woke up one morning and said, I want to be selfish today, so I'm going to go make a baby. Not saying that at all. But those are selfish acts.
I mean, that's
at
pretty
the
much what he did,
expense of
though.
your fear. So at
Exactly.
what point do you feel the fear? Do it anyways. And yeah, that is a low functioning behavior. To say that I am going to create these homes.
On his neck.
Let me go better. I'm going to build these houses and put kids and these beautiful women and kids in them, but I ain't going to create a home in them. I'm going to wait till I dissipate my fear to find a wife
Pause.
where I'm still going to be fearful.
Brother Combs, Brother Robo,
Yeah.
let me ask y'all a question, because I'm listening to her, and she's educated, because I did the research on her. All her shit is legit. She's 100. But
Right.
is it hard to listen to a woman give advice that's not married, that wants to be married and wants kids, and she doesn't have that? Is that hard for you?
Not me. Not me personally.
No, I didn't think so either. No,
Yeah,
I didn't think so either. I was just asking because people talking shit. Thank you.
But I will add though that it's because she's educated on the fact. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people go, well, I don't have to have this to know. I'm like, no, you don't. But you gotta, like, where are you getting your information from?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? People just talk about that. If you say that to her, she's gonna be like, 8 years of this and this and that, like, you know, I mean, this long in my career, like, you could tell she knows what she's talking about. I'm fine with that.
Yeah. She's solid. She's
Fearful
solid.
with,
She's
because
solid.
there's no such thing as not having some type of nerve or some type of feeling behind marrying somebody who you're spending your life with. And then I'm going to build a home with her while all these other beautiful babies have houses. That's completely unfair and it's selfish.
Just tell me when I can sell.
Fish.
Yeah, almost. That's completely unfair and that's selfish. And so,
Almost.
yes, you're taking your time in this department, but you're not taking your time in this department, which means you're compartmentalizing. And compartmentalizing never works. Compartmentalizing hurts everybody involved. Everybody who's in this box and that box and this box and that box and this box. And then here you go over here trying to figure out what box you're going to feed or entertain or do. Then you're looking outside to figure out who's your next victim to put in the box. It's unhealthy. And it's a huge dysfunction within our black community that I truly believe personally, statistically, mental health-wise, and community-wise, that black men would stop.
Black men will what?
Stop doing that, that they would stop that dysfunctional behavior of compartmentalizing and
He
creating
said-
houses.
Pause
not
it for a second.
homes.
He said, "Tell me when I can solve that. Like what can I do about that?" Does he not know how babies are made? Like, does he not know how that
he
works?
knows. Oh, he knows.
He's like, I can't help. Babies just happen, you know.
You got to put the thing in the thing, and you got to think.
Yeah. Like, what do you want me to do about it? You know.
And you gotta do it like that every time. No, bro.
Yep. Man.
And then finally a home with the wife. And then you have all these other houses that are homeless. But you over here, at some point when you do get a wife, if you do, I'm saying if that's what you want, you will. You'll get whatever you want. You're trying to create a home. Totally dysfunctional and extremely, that's the epitome of selfish. Epitome of selfish.
That's that's
She told him right. She told him right.
Yeah, especially he's creating,
and nobody else is going to tell him because he's camp.
Yeah, he's self-creating that damage. He's self-creating that damage because not me and my wife was talking about this earlier when she told me about the video and said I should bring it up. And he's creating that dysfunction inside of a household because with 8 kids, he's going to miss something important. He's going to not be able to be there for something. He's not going to be able to, not even for events, just corrections, just being present, just being there. Because somebody is going, it's 8 kids and 7 days in a week. Somebody's going to miss something.
Always.
Somebody's going to feel untreated. Somebody's going to feel jealous. Why is he always over here? And how come he ain't here? Or he missed this, or I got to be here. So it's just, he's developing that broken foundation from within our community when he has and had the power to control it.
Yep,
that's right.
I agree 110%.
Yeah, man, it's just sad that
So I wanna like make sure something is centered. I don't know that I would put it is a problem. I don't know what Cam is doing is a part of the problem of that is a part of the bigger conversation regarding single family homes, single father homes, right? And because it goes back to, and we don't want people to lose sight of core issues, right? The root cause. And if we're talking about over policing and the disproportionate amount of black and brown people in prisons, many, I don't want to make up a number and say most or whatever, but many of these families are broken by the system we're in. Right. Not because I'm a millionaire football player who just wants to, pee on every tree he comes across. You know what I'm saying? But you're right, though, in that there is, and I just want to make sure those are 2 separate conversations. Mm-hmm. But the part of that, and I feel bad because I'm thinking about it now. I keep bringing up the culture, in that is synonymous with this toxicity. No, the culture is beautiful, but there are toxic aspects of the culture that we need to excise like a cancer. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And this idea that your manhood is tied into, apologies for being crass, but the stuff that you shoot when you bust, it's like what, it's like wild to me. I'm like, it's you know what I'm saying? Like how many kids you have for real?
Absurd.
Like that's, you look at him, you look at who is the other one? Nick Cannon.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, what are you doing? That's a breeding kink.
Yeah.
That's a breeding kink, and it's about ownership.
Yep.
It's about, it's not about how many children I get to father, because if that were the actual cause, right? If that was because let me tell you something. There are very few things in life that I love more than being a dad. Right. I that is like, my wife knows it, my wife comes first, but she knows that being a father is like, that is my everything. And so and we had this like hypothetical, I'm just going to give a quick hypothetical. She goes, no, I don't know. I guess I woke up and chose violence this day, but I said, what would you do if someone like an old ex or something, or maybe not even an ex, just somebody that I mess with, say you got a kid, what would you do? She goes, she needs to go somewhere else. I'm like, nah, stop. And she's like, what? I'm like, well, that's my kid. We got to take care of it. Like, she's like, nah, that's not. I'm like, no. Then it became like a not like a kidding, not kidding kind of argument.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because it's not real. But she goes, no. And I'm like, listen, I promise you, Okay, I was just kidding by asking that, but I promise you, if somebody from my past said, "Hey, you had a kid," and I just didn't want to tell you, and in comes this 13-year-old or something, I'm taking care of that 13-year-old.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm taking care of the. Now, if that were the true drive for somebody like Cam, for somebody like Nick Cannon, for somebody like non-millionaire people who just want to go out there and make a bunch of babies, then you wouldn't want that many kids because you would know I can't be that good of a dad to all of them.
Exactly. What
How am I? So why are you doing it then? If because your love for children, your love for fatherhood, if that's not the case, what is driving you keep doing this?
Yep.
It's property.
Yep.
It's because you look at women and children as property. You know what I mean? And let me tell you, and I hate it because I had my fuckboy years, and so I know what it's. I know, you know, and I'm sure we all have. I remember the. I'm not proud of it. The mindset I was in. I've talked to friends, and it's like, how many times have we said, you know, again, we're all better men now, right? But not to say, not to brag about it. Not, you know, it is shameful. But how many of us have said, or how many of us have said, or at least heard? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, she's with him. She's with him now, but this is not with me first, right? Like he's getting my seconds.
No, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so same thing for like if you give her a kid, like she can be with him, but you gonna take care of my kid, bitch. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's all for selfish, toxic property reasons.
You know what I'm saying? Never really looked at it like how you're saying it, but I always did think like, okay, they're doing this because they don't have to put the real work in.
That's it.
Because
raising
a child with your significant other is some taxing shit. Daycare, drop-offs. Today I have to be with the child all day because you have to do this and you have to do. They have the luxury of being able to fly and float anywhere they want to. So making the kids for them is not a problem. I get a nanny.
That's
you
right.
You don't understand what you're doing to the kid, bro.
That's right.
Like, you're not really understanding what you're doing to the fucking kid. I know, being raised by my mother, I always would be happy as shit when my dad said he was on his way or he was coming over. I'm on the east side of Detroit. He's on the west side. It don't take that long to get there. 15 minutes. But I would be on that fucking porch all fucking day and he would never fucking show up.
Damn.
So, and it could be some legit shit. He probably had to work. He couldn't get off. Whatever the case was. I know how it felt for me. So making all these kids, man, and flying and floating all over the fucking place, man, you're doing the kids a fucking disservice. You really
are. Right.
Definitely an injustice.
Yeah, I got something, and you tell me, you know, because I'm gonna give a hot take. I'm gonna give a take that a lot of people don't, and rightfully and well, understandably so, don't really always agree with. You know, she said in the video, and you guys have alluded to this a couple of times about, you know, raising kids together and what are you doing to kids when you don't raise them together. There was a part of that interview with Cam that there was a part where I was like, when I look at the kinds of people that make a ton of kids, and they can't take care of them, and they're deadbeats, and I'm thinking to myself, if I was making Cam money, I could take care of these kids as long as I'm like involved. You know what I mean? I go there. I got private helicopters. I can go to this game fly. You know, I think I could do it. But the problem is not that they're not with the moms. The problem is that they're not involved, right? Like for you in the stories that you're talking about, the problem isn't that he didn't stay with your mom. The problem is that you sat on that porch all day and he never came. You know, so I have a personal opinion that in getting to the point about the hot take, somebody came up to me one time and he goes, challenging my lefty, you know what I mean, my woke thought process.
They like to challenge you guys.
Yeah, he goes, and this is, I'm in the military too, right? So he comes in, he's like, what do you think about divorce then? Like, what do you think about? Do you think people get divorced too easy nowadays? Like, why do you think it's so high? And I said, I don't know, but it's a good thing. I mean, I do know, and the divorce rate is a good thing, by and large. Not, I'm sure there's tragic, specific occasions, but by and large, and here's why. Because there was a time that we all like to talk about, and again, if you disagree, I think this would be a good conversation. There was a time where we talk about, with rose-tinted glasses, about how people didn't break up and people stayed together and people worked it out, right? And we talk about this a lot. But what we don't talk about is that these are people that, whether by law or by church or by community or by stigma, you said you're going to stay with that man. You're going to stay with that woman, whether you are abused, cheated on. Maybe you got married too young and you are legitimately miserable. You should not be with this person anymore. You know what I mean? It didn't matter if he beats you. It doesn't matter if she stole your money or cheated around. It doesn't matter about any of that stuff because you're supposed to stay married. I would argue that those people who felt like they just had to stay did more harm to those kids than people who left.
Right.
And that's why I want to say, this is why I want the conversation about what Cam is doing and what we know a lot of dudes do to be different than the problem of fatherless household. Because the problem of fatherless households, especially in the black community, or rather specifically in the black community, is due to a broken system that over-polices black men. And that's different than dudes who are treating women and children like property.
Right.
Because it's not about staying with them. It's not about bringing children into a home that doesn't have a father. It's about not being that father.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I've been divorced for 15, 14 years now. And there hasn't been a moment, not a weekend, not a bad month that my kids ever wondered, does my dad love me?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Now, I was in Washington stationed at Fort Lewis, and my wife, my ex-wife, cut that out, got orders to Miami. And that day, I remember, if you had saw me, and let's say you didn't know, you just walked into the house and you didn't know anything was going on, I promise you would have thought I got news that someone died. I was grieving. I was fucking broken, right?
Yeah. Right.
And I was from Washington State to Miami, a present and active father. I called my son on his way to his soccer games. Hey, your mom's gonna come me picture. Hey, remember what we said, okay? If you're tired, you just gotta put. Okay, boom. Hey, he didn't win, okay, cool. I'm calling. I'm FaceTime him. Man. Hey, what's going on, man? Yeah, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. I am gonna be present, and that's across the country. That's why I do not ever give two shits. I have zero sympathy for deadbeat dads that are out there and go, but the mom's crazy, or this is that. Man, you would have to kill me before being able to stop me from being a dad.
Yes, sir.
You would have to kill me.
Yes, sir.
If you're not a dad to those kids, you are choosing to not be a dad to those kids.
Fuck yeah.
And that's the problem, not divorce.
Yeah.
But not being a dad.
Yeah. Because I was a police officer in Detroit. I don't know if John told you. But if I ran your name, Mr. Gentleman, if you had a warrant for child support, sir, you're coming with me. Because as a police officer, I'm paying my child support, and I am up to date. How fucking dare you be out here living your best life at the club on Saturday evening, and I got to come up here and run your name, and you got $20,000 sir, you are
I got a nice set of bracelets for you.
Yeah. Dude's not paying child support because they hate the baby mama that much.
Wow.
I'm like, man, like, so you hate her so much, you're gonna let your kid live in squander.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Anyways.
Yeah.
Oh,
P, you want to wrap it up?
Yeah, but we're gonna do the old wrap up. Hey man, we got to get you on here more often.
Yeah, man, I'm here.
Yeah, bro. But that's why I knew that P hit me up. I said, I know the perfect person. I've been wanting
Yeah,
to
man.
do something, and the
Yeah, man.
opportunity came in. It's just, you know, to give your outro. I just love the energy that you have. I love your thought process when it comes to a lot of things, and you speak so well. Let me stop.
I'm so articulate.
It's so intelligent. No, it's just the way
You're so intellectual.
it's just the way you look at things from an analytical standpoint,
Yes.
and you
Yeah.
bring in the passion, even in the way you the way you tell your stories. You're a great storyteller, and I appreciate you coming in and having this conversation with me and P. And it's just the first of many I see in the future, and just ways we can connect, and then just chop up about
Absolutely.
events and things that's happening there, Robo. And I
Absolutely.
appreciate you
Absolutely.
joining us, brother, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. And don't forget to look for me, youtube.com/LeftFace if you're looking for me on
All right.
YouTube, or
Okay.
LeftFace TV on Twitch.
Yes,
Gotcha.
yes. I'm
Gotcha.
gonna throw
I
it
will
up
do
there.
that. All right, man. As we wrap up this episode, I hope today's conversations broaden your understanding of single parent households. It's easy to get caught up in things like you know what you see on TV or what you might read, and you think that's the end all be all. But I promise you, Robo helped us prove it today. The numbers are skewed. They're skewed a little bit, and it's always almost about proximity. You know what I'm saying? So I just hope everybody got something out of this, man. Give you the strength to overcome anything you going through, or just knowing there's other people out there like you, man. We all on the same page. Do not believe the bullshit you see on TV and what you hear. They want to divide us because dividing us is how you keep the power. Y'all gotta understand that we are the power. If
That's
you
it.
really knew why we had the Second Amendment, it was for us to protect ourselves. Well, I don't want to get into it anyway. But hey, man, I appreciate you, Robo, man.
Yeah.
You my kind of guy.
That's what's up.
Yes, my
Appreciate
dude,
it.
man.
It's nice
Appreciate
meeting
you,
y'all.
man. All right,
Yes,
brother.
sir, Ski.
Working this hard for a reason. In a minute trying to make it room. Saying, baby, this is our season. No, I ain't taking that fool. Swimming this long and leaving. Demons trying to visit me at night.